So this is an introductory game to our rondos. What we've done here is we've put a coach in a 4v1. So you'll see three players in two squares. There's the orange square, which is where I am a part of with three players. And then I have one of my older players in the blue square creating a 4v0 essentially. I have each of the three players numbered from 1 to 3, and they're going to be rotating going into the different squares. So in my square, when I would say go, number 1 would go into the blue square, and then when they win the ball, number 1 from the blue square will come to the orange square to pressure, and so on. We move through the numbers. We start, because this is the younger ages, we start with 5 passes equals a goal. And what you'll see is that we play 3-minute games, and then I'll take 1 minute to focus on a key principle. So we start out with learning how to stop the ball. Then we also go into a little bit of passing and a little bit of communication. And then we also talk about helping with support. So here's that first one with that number 1 coming into pressure. And we're really working here on just understanding the game. That's the first part of it. Learning how this game works. And then after 3 minutes, then I will coach this side, and then I will switch to the other side and switch with the other player. So I'll be getting my coaching points in between this group and the other group, and you'll be able to see that as it goes on. I also, because this is the younger kids and a beginner, I've taken it back by making the player who's coming to press having to hop on one leg, and that will reduce the pressure for our players. And as you'll see, as they get better throughout this session, which they actually did really well, by the end, that player can actually start to run. So that player, that's our first player going into the blue, and they have to hop on one leg, and that will give the players more time.
Switch! One. Quick, check it there. Let's go. Quick. 2, 3. Switch! Go! 1. It's your job to count. 2. Ball's out, reset, play. 2.
So this is really important. What I'm looking for here is a leader to come out from each group. So what you'll see is that I'm turned and I'm faced into my group, and I'm allowing a leader to help the other group get someone into this square. So I'm counting the passes here, but what's most important is that they start to talk amongst each other and really understand the game with their group.
5, that's 3 goals. Play. Gun, reset, go. Ball's out, reset, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a goal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Reset, let's go. Good. What I want to work on, so we got 3-minute game, 2 minutes to practice. Here's what we're practicing. We're practicing stopping the ball. So, F and I are going to be in the middle right here. Okay? With the ball, they're going to be passing to you. Here's what I'm looking for, Oliver. Quick feet. Show me quick feet. Grab his hot. Excellent, good. When I pass you the ball, all you're going to do is turn your foot. You're not going to lift, you're just going to turn. Okay, let me see that. Play. Quick feet.
So that first stoppage of play will be working for a minute. I'll demonstrate what I'm looking for so both groups can get it, and then we'll start that minute. So here I'm really looking for learning how to stop the ball. So I want the players on their toes, and we talk about the ground being hot like it's fire, so they're really kind of on their toes. And then all I'm looking for is at the very last second, those players are going to turn their foot to stop the ball. I don't want them to lift their foot because that's when the ball goes underneath their feet. So you'll see here a constant improvement, and I'll be going through this every week for a while because we don't want to just focus it on 1 week. So you'll start to see a really big improvement right away in that next game, and we know that that's what we consider success when there's improvement in the next game.
Good. Good. Yes. Excellent. Good. Can we start calling for that ball? Good. Good. Oh, can't hear. Good. Good. Can't hear you, Nicholas. Thank you. And good. Time. Excellent. Let's switch teams. Let's switch teams. And then we can play 3, 2, 1. After has the ball. Who's one? Go. 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 Ball's out! Go to this one over. This one. 2. Come on, man. 3, 4, 5. Good ball. 1. Quick feet, quick feet. Ball's out, reset. Go. 3, go over. Go, go, go.
So I'm not going to show you the full minute here, but Essentially now I just switched over and did the same thing with the blue team with quick feet, while the orange team works with our older player. And then now at the end of the round that I worked with the blue, I'm going to switch back to the orange, and now I'm going to be playing with the orange team as we start our second round.
Good. 3. Balls out. Switch. Who's number 1? Thank you. 1 second. Thank you. No problems up. Good. So when I have this ball, down, reset. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Who wants it? Quick feet. Quick feet. Balls out. Switch. Go. Watch out. When I have this ball, I need help. So instead of being so far away, how can you stay on your right line and help? All the way. All the way. Love it. That's called support. Yeah? What happens if Asher has the ball? Can you support him? Help him now. Show me. Show me. Good. Love that. Right now, me and him are going to come to the good. Reset. Let's go. 1. Good. Now you got Asher in. You help him the next one. Love that. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good, Nicholas. 6. 7. Oh, now what a move. Good. And time for second round. Love it. From now on, middle player can run regular.
So the players are doing really well, so I'm going to increase the progression. And as you just heard now, I'm going to get the defender to come in, and now the defender doesn't have to be on 1 foot. And I also increase the amount of passes that they need for a goal because, again, they were able to do it pretty easily in that last round. So now you'll see that defender coming in full speed, and that's what I'm looking for. So now another defender goes in and with full pressure. Now I'm going to be working with these players constantly, reminding them, giving them trigger words, right? Quick feet, things like that. And you'll see in the next one, when I stop it, that I'm going to add another layer for them to think about because they're doing really well with that quick feet. Their ball control, receiving, could use a little bit of work, but we have years and years to work on that, and we're going to continue to work on that every week. So we want to start building good habits. I don't want them standing still, so I'm going to introduce support very soon. And as now we have a leader here that's emerging, the player in the black, Asher, who just started when I wasn't even there. So things are really great, and now you'll see a really good progression here and a really good movement of the ball, again with a player with full pressure, and that's 4v1. And some of these kids are 5 years old, 6 years old, and 7 years old. So they're already moving off the ball, which is great because I talked to the player on the right about that. I haven't talked to the player on the left about that. So that's okay. And again, right away, we have talking, players moving, and it's great.
Excellent, excellent, good. All right, let's start passing now with your coach. Good, so we've got this covered. Love it. Now, let's talk about the support. If I have this ball, I need help. So, excellent, love that. If Asher gets that ball, good, perfect. Now, okay, that's okay for now. All right, let's move that ball around. Play.
So it's the first session for the players on the left and the right. It's their first session with me, and the player in the black has been with me for a while. So you can see the difference in his movement. As soon as that ball moves, he'll go and support right away. And the two players in the white shirts, they're still new to it. So I'm going to be reminding them constantly with words, support, quick feet, things like that. That's what we're really going to be looking for because those are really what we've worked on.
Help support, help support. Stop the ball, Nicholas. Stop that ball. You want to keep it on the ground. Support, Alex. Support, Nicholas. Yeah, good. Support me. Support me. Yeah, good call. Yeah, that's good stuff over.
So I do want to stress that we're not looking for perfection. These kids are still very young. It's still, like I said, it's the two players white. It's their first session, so it's okay that they're struggling through it. And I know that on YouTube we don't see a lot of times where teams struggle because it's usually the best of the best of their session. But I want to be able to show that it's okay for our players to struggle and go through it because that's the only way they can learn, right? So balls like that, those aren't things that we want, but it's okay again because those are things that they're going to learn as they get older with weekly practice and constantly working on these principles that we do. And you can see here they're not really supporting as much, which again, it's okay. It's their first session, but we want to put in those buzzwords. We want to get those leaders in. We want every week to take a step forward. So it's great actually, and what I love about this is that I leave them and go to another group because now what happens now is they have to take charge of it themselves, right? It's not okay if I'm always the only one constantly reminding them, right? So here we see the player on the right. He's still standing still in this. He's on his toes, which is great, but he hasn't supported, right? And that's okay. That's going to come with time. But I do want to show here that it's not perfect every time, and that's okay. You have to be constantly encouraging your players. There's no reason to yell. Just be encouraging. Give those short phrases, support, quick feet, things like that.
Balls out. Fight. Balls out. Ready. Good. Switch. Go. One. Two. Good, Raina. Good, Monte. Just grab that ball. Balls out. Wait, balls out, Raina. 1, 2. Balls out. Switch. Let's go. Number 1. Number three. Go all there. Balls out. Wait. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, well done, Alex. Go one. And time.
So again, now I'm going to be doing the same thing with the blue team, going over support. And again, you're not going to have to watch that whole thing because you've already seen it. So we'll move on to the last game.